Mr. Chris Calkins of Carleton Corporation, an owner's representative and an IRGA board member, pointed out that the real risk of there not being surplus net revenues at year 2010, here we are, falls on Carleton because their half goes to repay a sales tax advance. And if it isn't repaid 5 years later, they lose any right to revenues from the golf course in the long term. That 5-year period, if they suspend this 5 years, it wipes out any of the makeups for any of the remaining CFD. At the end of that 5-year period, there's no condition on the city. The city gets 100% regardless of how the golf course is performing. So 5 years, if you suspend it 5 years, Carleton no longer has an interest in getting any revenues. So is this request for a suspension of the sales tax revenue owed the city by IRGA an attempt to allow Carleton to collect surplus net revenues now instead of paying the sales tax credit, or is there no money? In the August 21st IRGA board minutes, Jim Benson, Assistant City Manager, stated, as of the year 2011, when the city and Carleton start sharing surplus net revenue on a 50-50 basis, there is an entire year and a half of cushion where even if the golf course doesn't perform as well as it should, the money will be available for the city to get its 50% of the surplus net revenue. That may be part of the reason they're asking you to suspend the sales tax, because they have to make sure you get your net revenue. Mr. Calkins, Carleton Corporation, said, we are aware if the course underperforms by 10%, the amount that Carleton fails to get reimbursed is increased. There is potential of $3 million. It all flows down to Carleton. Can the city expect to receive surplus net revenues beginning this year? How much? And still receive payment of the bond debt? What is the meaning of the $3 million? Again, where is the financial report for the public and city council, including projections, budgets, and any amendments? Where are they? Where's the information? As city staff are on the IRGA board, why don't we have the financials included in this agenda packet? Why don't we? What about council receiving an annual financial reports from IRGA? In the May 2000 was the last status report council and the citizens received on the Encinitas Ranch in IRGA. That's 10 years ago. Why? Don't you think it's time for another one? You ought to know what's going on. I'm saying, please do not make a decision without sufficient financial information. You have a fiduciary responsibility to the people who elected you. Please ask staff and IRGA to come back with updated status reports as part of the agenda packet so that you can make an informed decision. Okay, I spent hours going through this, rechecking. I have 3 boxes just on Encinitas Ranch and IRGA. I know my stuff. You better know yours. I'll give you all a copy of my questions.
The next speaker is Donna Westbrook.